Today, I'm going over one of my favorite activity at the beginning of each month. And I'm serious about it too. Where I take 10 minutes to take snapshots of all of my assets and all of my liabilities so I can keep track of my net worth over time. It has been a great motivator for me to see my net worth continue to climb up. However, if this is your first time tracking your net worth, do not be surprised if your net worth is negative. If it is, do not get discouraged. Never compare your net worth to people you know. Never compare your net worth to mine or anyone else. Because my starting line, other people's starting line, is going to be different than yours. What matters is, are you making progress? What matters is, are you taking action today to improve your wealth? If you do, and you're on the right track, that's all that matters. I know it sounds cliche, but wealth building is a marathon, not a sprint. Let's go over how I keep track of my net worth. This sheet intent is to simply take a snapshot of each month. And the way I format it in the top rows are year and quarter. Below that is year and month. Below that is the net worth for each of the month. Under liquid asset, you want to list all your checking account, all your saving account, all your cash, anything that you can quickly turn into cash, hence liquid. I have saving account 1, checking account, cash, checking account, saving, checking account. This may seem overkill, but originally I had different purposes for all those different accounts. For saving account number 1, at the end of March, I had $21,451. For checking account 1, I had $106 in there. For checking account 2, $492. Checking account 4 had $840. Checking account 4 had $2,700. And then it just sums up the total, $25,634. The next section is investment. List all of your investment. And when I say investment here, what we call individual brokerage account or taxable account. The reason I have so many individual brokerage accounts, I intended to start this channel and start to help inform and inspire people to accumulate wealth. So I've been opening different accounts from different brokerages to try them out, to see how they do, and hopefully start to offer some of the reviews. For individual brokerage account number 1, I had $36,000 and change. And I didn't have any investable cash in that brokerage account. For brokerage account 2, $35,000 and change. Brokerage account 3, $7,600. You get the idea. ESPP, Employee Stock Purchase Plan, when I first started my company, I put in the max allowed on a weekly deduction. But as I learned about investing, I started to scale down quite a bit and diversify my investment across the board outside of my employer. This is why you don't see a whole lot. For my ESPP, I had $5,700 there. Total individual brokerage account is $84,814. Total restricted and story fund, I have a total of $122,302. Total investment from individual brokerage account as well as the total restricted story fund accumulate to $207,117. Next up is the retirement account. Include traditional 401k, yours and your spouse if you have one, your HSA, your spouse HSA. Yes, HSA can be considered as an investment, and not many people fully utilize the full potential. And I will have more videos on how HSA works and how you can leverage that HSA not just for covering medical expenses, but also potentially use that later on in your retirement days. So for the month of March, these are the balance I had between all those accounts, accumulate to $364,564. Total cash plus total investment plus total retirement equal to $597,314 in nest egg. The next section is debts. If Dave Ramsey sees this, he will have a heart attack. To me, debts are not all bad. If you are responsible, if you pay it in full and you pay before the promotional period is over, why not? But if you have no self-control and you have the urge to spend it, stay away from credit cards as far as you can. So in my case, I have 3 rewards credit cards where I pay each in full so that I get free flights, free rentals, and free hotels. I have 2 retail credit cards, 0% interest, and I always pay the balance in full before the promotional period is over. And then I have a student loan. So for the month of March, I paid the balance off in full. I still have $5,106 in one of the retail card, and they are 0% interest. Student loan balance is $26,636. Total debts is $31,742 for the month of March. Most people, when they put in the net worth tracker, they would put their house under the asset. But for me, I put it at the bottom of it because right now my house is my primary residence. It is not taking in any income. So therefore, my house is currently my liability. So for the house, I put in the home value of $373,000. I still owe $176,558. And if I were to sell it, now this may change with all the latest debacle fees and closing costs. So what I receive in cash will be $169,062. You can also count your major items as part of the fixed assets, and that can be cars, that can be motorcycle, camera gears, anything that you can sell and liquidate and receive cash as a result. I would consider it as a major item that you should track. Unless how much the vehicle is worth, and then have several 65-inch TVs that if I would liquidate, I would get about $1,500 in cash. My total major item accumulate to $34,701. If you take the home equity for March plus the major item, my total fixed assets is worth $203,763. Unfortunately, I missed data entry for January and February. If you take total nest egg plus total fixed asset minus my debt, that equals to my net worth. So the net worth for March of 2024, or the end of Q1, was $769,335. That's about a $50,000 jump from the end of 2023. When I design a calculator, my intent is always to try to automate as much as I can. My intent is to simply enter it once, and how can I display it multiple ways. So once I enter data into this Excel sheet, I have different views that will tell me how I'm doing on a monthly basis, how I'm doing on a quarterly basis, how I'm doing on a yearly basis, and how am I tracking for the financial goal that I have. From this data entry, I can go to the monthly graph. This graph graphs from when I first started tracking back in July of 2018, where my net worth and my nest egg were very close to each other. And now my net worth at the end of March was $769,335, and my nest egg was at $597,314. This is a monthly view in a graph format, but I can also look at the monthly view in a tabular format, in a row format. So this is a nice summary view of all of my debts, all of my fixed assets, my nest eggs, and net worth. Since I missed entering data for January and February this year, looks like my net worth jumped almost 7% from the end of 2023. That's about a $49,986 jump. Went from $719,349 to $769,335. My nest egg jumped about 7%, almost $40,000. My fixed asset remained very stable, just a slight uptick. And my debt, to be honest, I don't really look at debts a whole lot because all of my credit cards and all of my rewards I pay off in full. I pay them off before promotion period. And I don't buy them unless I have cash to pay for it. This is the power of investing. Just a 2% jump. That's almost $14,000. That is many times more than what we take home. From October to November, almost 6% jump, $30,000 increase. And of course, the market doesn't just go up. The market also go down. And you can see if I'm down 1%, I lost 6,000 there. Down just slightly under 3%, 14,000 down. Down just 1.4%, down another 7,700. Up 32%, 134,000. But it wasn't that great. This 134,000 is not a monthly increase. It's more of a 4-month increase because I failed to record 3 months in a row. So from March through to July, it increased by 134,000. This is why I love investing. This is why I show this in a detailed view like this. The hope is to help you see and be inspired to start thinking about accumulating wealth. How much my wealth increase is much more than what we take home. And it's not all rosy either. This is July of 2023. But if you go back to my investing journey in the beginning of 2018, when I first started tracking, I started at 156,582. You see, my monthly increase wasn't as much. 4,000 here, 2,000 here, 14,000 there. But as you continue to have more and more and more, you see that you start to see a nice increase and also a big dip. So that is my monthly view, both in the graph view as well as in the table view. Now let's look at the quarterly view. You see the graph smooth out a little bit. But when you look at it at a micro level, at a monthly view, you see a lot of ups, you see a lot of downs. But as you step back at a 3-month cadence, it's essentially recording the same thing, but it smoothed out the ups and downs of the market. The same thing with the monthly view. The quarterly view, I also have the graph version as well as the table version. Even though I track debts, fixed asset, nest egg, and net worth, I'm only going to focus on the net worth and the nest egg. If you look at Q1 of 2024 compared to Q4 of 2023, I saw an increase of almost 7%. That's $49,986 increase in net worth. And in nest egg, I saw a jump of 7.2%. That's an increase of $39,939. If you look at Q4 compared to Q3 of 2023, the nest egg grew, the net worth grew 2.3%. That's about $16,000. And the nest egg grew 7.3%. That's $37,872. Just like the monthly view, the quarterly view, you see my nest egg on a quarterly basis grows sometimes as much as one person income. And that is the power of investing. That is the power of money making money. The next view is the yearly view, from monthly view to quarterly view to yearly view. The more you look further out, the more the lines start to smooth out. Now let's look at the table view. Because this tab is only meant to look at a yearly status, obviously 2024 doesn't end yet, so it's going to be NA. Now you know why this is one of my favorite activities at the beginning of each month. I get to enter the snapshot from the previous month. It only takes me 10 minutes out of my day, entering all the asset, all the liabilities. I have a different tab that gives me a nice graphical view and tabular view on how I'm doing on a monthly basis, how I'm doing on a quarterly basis, how I'm doing on a yearly basis, and how am I tracking towards my financial goal. I do intend to share this workbook, but I do need 2, maybe 3 more weeks to try to make it more automated, so you can just simply enter the monthly snapshot and the different tabs will show you the graph view as well as tabular view with very minimal alteration. The way it stands, you're going to have to edit some of the Excel formulas. I hope this inspires you to start employing your money to make more money for you. I highly recommend, if you haven't done so, to start tracking your net worth. For me, it has been a great motivator for me to keep on going on a weekly and a monthly basis, for me to keep on going, to keep on investing, to keep on piling more money into growing more money. If I look at where I'm at now to where I used to be, instead of piling up things, now I'm accumulating wealth. This is wonderful. If you are serious about wealth building, I highly encourage you to start tracking your net worth on a monthly basis. And again, if you start with a negative net worth, do not get discouraged. Never compare your net worth to someone else, because their starting point should be different than yours. What matters is you keep your eye on the destination and enjoy the journey along the way.